Transmitting to you from Old Heart Radio.
Well, this is
new show!
Number one, new show. Local Yokels.
God damn, it's so loud.
It is, I'll have to add to that later. This is a show basically centered around, like the idea of who you are and what do you do. Like, that's kind of it, right? Like, there's that classic Arnold Schwarzenegger line in Kindergarten Cop where he's like, "Who's your daddy and what does he do?" We're not talking about your daddy. We're talking about you. All right. So, Local Yokels number one. I'm sitting down here with Lucas. You know him from other Old Heart Radio podcasts, obviously.
Matinee edition. Woo!
Which we have another one coming out this week.
Oh yeah.
But you, my friend, just did what is referred to as a barista competition, or you participated in the World Barista Championship leading up to. It's something I've never done. I've been in the coffee industry a long time, but it seemed very interesting. On the scale of just real quick, 1 to 10, how would you rate your experience?
Dude, I had a blast. I would say like a good 9.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, it was a prelim for the U.S. Barista Championships and the U.S. coffee competitions. I think is the whole deal.
It's got like, I feel like it runs under a couple of different
there's a bunch of different
names. You say it's one thing. If you don't know what, if you're not in the industry, you call it something else.
So honestly, I've only been doing this for a couple of years, and one of our coworkers, for those who didn't know, we work in a coffee shop together.
Yeah.
Surprise. So I've only been doing specialty coffee for a couple of years at this point. And one of our other coworkers came to me and was like, "Hey man, you're pretty good when it comes to bar flow, making drinks for people." He's like, "Maybe you should sign up for this competition." And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." When I was an old friend of ours, our old assistant manager at one of the locations, he competed in this, and it was right when I was going through training. So I have some sort of fond memories of him working and sort of running stuff off of me and all that sort of.
I remember similarly kind of watching him build his routine, sort of get kind of like his bar flow honed in even more and stuff like that. It was actually pretty cool to see the dedication to the details.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
So I always thought that was cool, and I sort of wanted to make it something I could aspire towards eventually in the industry. And going to this whole event up in Seattle, it was such evidence that this is a really, really fucking good industry to be a part of.
Hell yeah.
We so it was at the Counterculture Training Labs, which you said you have mad respect for that.
Yeah, dude.
company.
I mean, if you're in coffee, you've heard the name Counterculture.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, they've the most of their training you can find online, but it's exactly the in-depth introduction you need to get into the specialty coffee. And finding out that they have a training facility in Seattle was no shock.
Yeah.
It was just sort of
I guess it was only open in April.
I was gonna say, I have not been there or anything, so it must be a reason.
Right by the stadium. And hey, little plug. Super cool space.
Yeah.
Every Friday at 10 a.m. they have a public cupping where you can just go and taste a bunch of coffees and get some merch from them.
That's super rad.
Yeah, it's not a traditional cafe. It's strictly training.
Okay.
Counterculture doesn't actually have any cafes, I found out. It's only wholesaling their roasted coffee and training up people that buy it. So, super interesting. I, as well now, have, some would say, mad respect for this brand.
What was the space like? What was the training space like?
Just huge. They had 2 espresso machines. Mm-hmm. Their entire, for those who aren't in the industry, drip trays.
Yeah.
An entire countertop was a drip tray.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What?
And just for cupping and they had hot water taps everywhere.
Nice.
Such a cool space, super modern. Really, you could tell it was recently built out.
Okay.
But so got there the first day and we tried an assortment of coffees, 3 of them.
Nice.
And we were only told A, B, and C. No origins, no roast profiles. It was strictly down to tasting.
Just boom.
We took some notes, and then we were told we had to sleep on it. Oof. We didn't choose right then. We had to sleep on it. And actually, after that, we had a little mix and mingle at a brewery nearby.
Nice.
Super cool.
That's one of the cool things about the coffee industry is that the after parties, man. Like
Yeah.
people throw after parties at events all the time, and they're so much fucking fun. Like
Yeah.
the coffee industry knows how to fucking party. It's
Yeah.
fucking weird.
Yeah. I mean, one of our in-house trainer was telling me about the Stumptown parties, which were supposedly fucking crazy back in the day.
I've been to one Stumptown party, and it was crazy. It was fun. But, that's exactly what I mean. Like, just people know how to get down after a long day, you know?
Yeah, people are already jacked up on all the coffee.
all the espressos running through you, just like, let's fucking get drunk.
Gotta slow down somehow.
So you guys had those 3 coffees that you tried out, A, B, and C.
Yeah, and before, so you had 30 minutes to train.
Okay.
And before your training time, like 30 minutes or so before, you went down and they asked you which one you'd like, and only then did they tell you only the one that you chose. So in my case, I picked a washed Guatemalan coffee that was a counterculture coffee that was grown between 1,800 and 2,000 meters. So, but that's all you get.
That's all you get.
And then you get 30 minutes to work with it and hone it.
Yeah.
It's important to note here that I was in the barista side of things. There's also brewing, tasting, roasting.
There's multiple different levels.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, there's not just one competition. There's just one level. There's not one cup to go. Yeah. There's a lot.
And it ranges in like the structure and everything too. I found out recently that the tasting competitions, which there wasn't one hosted in Seattle this time, it was only brewing, so like a cone and espresso, which would be barista. The tasting ones are like you have a handful of cups and you cup them for 3 minutes, and you're on a 3-minute timer. Okay. And if you don't have your choices down in those 3 minutes, you're disqualified. In that case. So it's all about just like having the fucking best palate possible.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then if it comes down to you and somebody else got everything right, it's who did it faster. Which is just super cool.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting. That's a whole another level of pressure, because like it's super fun to cup coffees and just experience the different profiles you can, but to try to do so in a way where it's like, you know, that you have a forced time limit, you have to get something out. Like, you really, it's like it requires a focus of like this whole sense that you end up using that you kind of neglect most of the time.
Oh, absolutely. Unless it's like super refined, it's not going to be there.
Yeah.
So I had my 30 minutes, and I just pretty much sat down with our trainer from B&B, and we just went for it. You don't really have much time to think.
Yeah.
Like you just sort of have to. This is how it's pulling now. How do I think I can make it better?
How can I get it to?
Yeah. So I actually I took a bunch of notes on it, and I ended up pulling like a super long shot, around 40 seconds, with about like 35 grams out, and it was this like hibiscus, hazelnut, and I made it, and I ended up putting it in a cortado for my milk drink. Okay. I thought it would accentuate it well.
Yeah, without being too milky.
Yeah, exactly. For those that don't know what a cortado is, it is about like 5 ounce, 5 6 ounce.
5 to 6 maybe.
5 to 6, small drink, 2 shots of espresso, and then like very, very thin foam on top.
Just like basically, it needs to be there, but you basically need no foam.
Exactly. Like you get something to break through, but like a cappuccino that's super foamy, it can usually hide a lot of the sort of simplistic stuff that you could catch in a lighter coffee.
That's why I like cortados, because you get a chance to see like the espresso shine.
Yeah. If you're using something darker as your espresso, I'd say cappuccino all the way.
Definitely.
Because then it cuts it.
Well, yeah, and cappuccinos are traditionally, not traditionally all the time, but I guess in a certain circle, they're served with dark chocolate a lot of times.
Makes total sense.
Yeah, so like a darker espresso would kind of work with that.
Absolutely.
So you made it. Did you have to do one?
So I had to do.
Judges
So there were 2. This is also very interesting. There were 2 sensory judges that were strictly evaluating my composure and my presentation, as well as tasting.
Okay.
There was a technical judge who didn't taste, but just watched everything I did on bar.
Didn't fuck up the mechanics.
Exactly.
Damn.
And then there was a main judge who didn't actually get a scoring point, but sort of played devil's advocate for you. They did they watched your technique and they tried everything, but their score didn't end up counting. They were more so, after your performance, there's 10 minutes of deliberation from the judges, where they just discuss your performance.
Yeah, dude, that's gotta be nerve-wracking.
It's fucking nerve-wracking. They went to like a back room.
Oh my god, it's like
They like walked out, it's like shake their hands and they're fucking gone. Like, yeah. So 30 minutes of prep time, you get sort of where you want to go, and then you sit down. You can only drink stuff that you pulled then. And also, every time that you're not at a machine, they take your coffee. So as to prevent you from fucking with it at all or practicing more, you only get after your practice time drinks that you've already made and espresso you've already pulled.
Man.
Yeah. So it's just me and everybody else from our company sitting in a corner, pretty much just like hibiscus. Caramel.
I mean, that's the only choice you have, though. You have to get like
everybody's sort of sweating. Yeah, like, it was also fucking hot in there.
I bet, dude. Bunch of like sweaty coffee industry people jacked up on espresso, all crammed into a training facility. Like,
it was surprisingly smooth though. They just had people bouncing back and forth between the two setups.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many competitors were there?
There were 22 in my group. For brewing, there were 13.
Okay.
So brewing ran a bit longer, and I think it was 8 minutes. I had 7 minutes to perform.
Okay.
So I went up in front. The gist of it was, I had 10 minutes before I started. There's also a dude fucking timing me to tell me to stop. If I go over.
Yeah, he's just like, back the fuck up.
He was giving me call outs, so he's like, 5 minutes.
Oh, dang. Well, that's kind of nice, actually.
It was nice.
They got a little heads up. Like, okay.
There was so the gist of it was, I had 10 minutes to prepare and get my dial back to where it was for the coffee.
Okay.
So I had to replicate like the shots I was pulling earlier to the best of my ability in those 10 minutes. Plus also be completely prepared to steam milk, have my entire setup all put together. And in my case, I had like serving platters and stuff. Like these cool like wood like handmade ones that our trainer brought in. I had flavor note cards that because we had a typewriter.
Hand type use Ben's typewriter.
Yeah, Ben brought his typewriter and we were just like, let's give it in case we forget to mention something. Yeah. The judges have a reference point.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So then you have 7 minutes from when you call time. In my case, I was listening to some fucking Childish Gambino and Jungle.
Nice.
Check him out if you don't know who Jungle is. Great indie artist. And you go for it. So in my case, I just show appreciation to the judges, thank them, all that jazz. Yeah. Some people went on like some profound fucking monologue about it. Man. I was just like, hey, I really appreciate this opportunity. It's something I've wanted to do for a while. I prepared this for you, yada yada yada. Describe it to them, and then go back, make them their drinks.
Hell yeah.
And so 2 shots of espresso to start. And this is actually, I shit myself a bit here. I'll be honest. The espresso machine I was using, the buttons were sort of fidgety. So I accidentally restarted a shot as soon as I pulled my
man.
So it didn't get in the espresso, but I turned around and it was running. Thankfully, I only got 1 point off for it because the judge saw me try and turn it off, so he was like, it was a machine issue.
Yeah, there was definitely something wrong there.
Yeah, still had to get a point off, but it wasn't as severe as I thought it would be.
Yeah, for real.
So
it sounds like you can stack up infractions pretty fucking easily.
Fuck yeah. So it's graded very much. So technicals is like, you can very easily get a 100% technical score if you're super cleanly. I think it was 42 points total. I think I got like 38. Damn. Yeah. No, 37, but it would have been 38 if I did stop that fucking shot.
Damn espresso shot.
But it's very much graded like, from a Century perspective, like schools should be. Like, average should get a C.
Yeah.
So I think I scored like a 3 out of 5 for everything.
Nice. Okay.
And this sounds like douchey and pretentious, but right? Aren't we all?
Sometimes.
This is the coffee industry.
Yeah, dude, we're
on my flavor descriptors, I said toast. No, it was a candied hazelnut.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
For my flavor descriptors for the milk beverage.
But that is like
sweet, chocolatey, nutty.
Yeah. Well, that is like a particular kind of. The hazelnut is different than candied hazelnut.
Yeah. You were told to be specific.
Yeah. Did they
fucking judges said toasted cashew.
Oh, what a bastard! God, toasted cashew.
But I was
homie, that ain't a soft nut.
I was so fucking livid after seeing that.
Dude.
And then at the same time, after you get your scores, we all had a chance. So it's worth noting, I presented and then had to wait a day.
Yeah.
We had to stay in Seattle because we had another person competing later, and then we had a person competing the next day. So I went up the next day and stayed there the entire fucking day. Nerve-wracking waiting for my results.
I bet. Honestly.
Not many people notice this because of my overwhelming charisma, but I am the most self-critical person in the world. I totally thought I was fucking screwed. Just because of that espresso.
It's really easy to slip into that. It's really easy to be your worst critic. You know what I mean?
It turned out, score-wise, I was like reasonably towards the top of the pack. Nice. I didn't qualify for the national part, but I was maybe 2 or 3 people off.
Nice.
So this is my first year. Everyone above me had competed for at least 2 years.
That's the thing, dude. You don't get thrown in with a bunch of noobs like for the first time. You're competing right alongside veterans.
There was a dude who went to Worlds for tasting.
That's insane.
Who competed against me. Which it was funny because he was like the dude bro of the coffee industry. It seemed like when he didn't make it in brewing.
Yeah.
He made it in barista. He didn't make it in brewing, which is what he was really focusing on. He threw a fucking fit.
Oh my god,
He was like, he went over by like 40 seconds, and every second you go over is a point off.
Yeah, which if you're a veteran in that, you should know.
Yeah.
From the first
and he was like, my coffee tasted great, but I ran too long. It was like that sort of thing.
Yo, dude, then take your fucking defeat, man.
Yeah.
Take that L and come back next year. Don't be a fucking douche about it.
Yeah. Like, he already fucking qualified for nationals, and he was talking about how he's been to Brazil for tasting at Worlds.
Okay, fantastic.
Whatever.
I don't ever understand that. That's my biggest turnoff when it comes to competitions is
it sounds like
the people that take that competition too far. You know what I mean?
But then at the same time, he was the only one.
Yeah.
Everyone else there was so fucking cool.
Which that's what it seems like. In the industry, it seems like most people are fucking chill.
We sat with a bunch of randos at that mix and mingle night,
nice.
And it was fucking great. Just talk to people. We all had similar interests. We're all fucking coffee people.
That's dope.
Talking the industry. And really, there's I think the gist of it is if you keep competing at a high level, whether it's sports or this or playing Xbox, you're gonna get better.
Yeah, absolutely.
And everyone was there. It's a prelim. Even if I really wanted to, I could still go out at like midnight and sign up for the qualifier for the nation.
Yeah.
If I just hit the button fast enough after the clock turns, I'm good.
Yeah.
But we're all there to just improve. And there were a ton of people who didn't expect to do anything with it. There was a girl from OCR there who was flipping out and didn't expect anything from herself and ended up qualifying.
Really?
Yeah, she came fucking second. Everyone's there to have a good time, to improve their craft, and it's just a fun dynamic.
Yeah, I think that's ultimately been one of the things that's always drawn me to coffee. Is that it's a fun, creative way to spend some time.
Yeah.
Making drinks.
Absolutely.
And when you put it in the context of a competition, it pushes people to find ways to better that craft.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
As any craft can be. It's very much scored in a way that it's supposed to be it's supposed to be almost impossible to be perfect.
Yeah.
No one, I guess, ever has scored a perfect grind waste score.
Perfection's fucking overrated anyway.
Exactly. I don't think anybody has ever in barista competition scored above a 98%.
Could you imagine if that guy that you were talking about scored a perfect score on his routine? Do you think that attitude would just he would just immediately become the douchiest person in the world?
I would.
That pretension, oh yeah, well, did you get a perfect score? I don't think so.
I'm better than you.
Yeah, I'm obviously better than you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just,
But then, for the most, like I said, everyone was there having a good time.
Yeah.
And everybody that was there was just, very positive.
So,
there's this random dude I met there. His name is Mike Cannon. Super, super nice guy. I just talked with him for a handful of times. I watched his competition before I went on. I told him, hey man, good luck with yours. And he told me, you know what? Good luck to you. You're going to do fantastic.
And that's it, man.
That's it. It's just a positive thing.
That's the true competitive spirit, in my opinion. It's just everybody's there to have like to strive for the same things, to enjoy the same things, to get together and like throw down. You know.
Amen.
Fucking dope.
Yeah.
I'm stoked you participated, man.
Absolutely.
So do you see yourself trying to go for it next year?
Actually, yeah. So we, as I mentioned to you, we're gonna be already getting on the train and getting some cupping stuff.
Hell yeah.
Cupping is coffee tasting.
Yeah. AKA.
Us coffee professionals refer to it.
Well, that's the other thing, man. We gotta start remembering that even though like it seems like such a regular thing for us, that fucking vernacular, man.
It's
like,
different.
It's very different for the layman.
Let's be real. I worked at Starbucks before this. I thought a caramel macchiato was a traditional coffee drink.
It's so bizarre, but it's it's that. I think that's kind of the fun thing about coffee, though. The cool thing about coffee is it's something that's so involved in so many people's lives, right?
Amen.
That like, I don't know.
With anything,
just like having a little extra knowledge on that subject.
People can come into our shop and have a good cup of coffee. People can go into a brewery and have a great pint.
Hell yeah.
But if you know a bit more about it, it expands your appreciation all the better.
Yeah, I mean it's very true. Every time I've gone to a brewery and like sat down over like a nice micro brewery, like micro beer or something like that, it's usually what gets me is being able to talk to somebody about what I'm drinking.
Expand your interest.
And I think
expand
that was
your
like
knowledge.
one of the whole things. The whole third wave of coffee was built off of anyway. Was like no longer is it just all right, like just good enough to have like a nice cup of coffee, but it's like where the hell did this come from? Let's further that conversation. And that's something that those competitions do.
Yeah, absolutely.
They catch people's attention because they are competitions.
It was also open to the public.
Yeah.
There were just a handful of randos that came in and were watching it and asking questions. It was super cool.
It's like local roasteries. If you open your doors to like for the public to go to your cuppings and shit, like a lot of times you'll find people that like randomly just want to pop in to see what the fuck that is actually going on. That's cool, man. That's cool. So you see yourself doing it next year? Are you gonna do the barista comp again next year?
I think I'm gonna do barista and brewing.
Just throw your hat in both rings.
Yeah, fucking why not?
Nice.
Why not, right?
You gonna be same trainer? Do you think?
I think we're gonna be sticking with our good friend Ben.
Yeah.
Check him out on Instagram. Annotated Press.
Ben Jones. Well, I mean Ben Jones. Let's just shout him out. Ben Jones is the fucking. He's a former AeroPress champ. He's currently a coffee trainer at like a major like coffee entity. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like the dude knows his shit. And if you ever spend like 5 minutes talking to that guy about coffee, like it will open your fucking mind. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Dude's so passionate.
It's insane.
Yeah. Oh. And not everybody in the coffee industry is a barista. That's also a horrible misconception.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah.
So many people there were espresso machine manufacturers. There were a ton of trainers. There were people that worked in management. There was one dude that was a head roaster. Oh, it's like people are just there. They started as a barista probably. Yeah. But they've reined in their craft and they're still comfortable doing it.
Yeah, and that's what's cool. When I started working in the coffee industry, I didn't think that there was much longevity in the coffee industry.
Near that.
But as you go, like you realize that there's a whole world of opportunity out there.
As a business admin and marketing student, I could very well not work on the floor of a cafe, but be super participant in the coffee industry.
Yeah. That's fucking rad.
We'll see what happens, but there's places to go. And this event was evidence in and of itself that the coffee industry is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, so I agree. Beautiful people, beautiful thing, man. Just one of the things that worries me though, 2050, they say we ain't gonna have any coffee anymore.
Fuck. We'll find a way.
We'll deal with it then. I'm just gonna break it off now, man. This has been a good episode. This has been a good first run.
Important thing. What are we to expect from this show going forward?
This, like I said at the beginning, it's gonna be a local centered thing, man. Everybody knows a local here. Everybody knows somebody that's cooler than them, and I, for one, think everybody's cooler than me.
Oh,
and so
I'm gonna have to do one interviewing you about something.
Yeah, right, man.
So don't expect it to be just me. We're gonna have some of our good friends on this. We're talking about a bunch of stuff.
Hopefully, shout outs to Harrison Hannon, man. I'm trying to rope that dude. He's a local artist around here. Spencer, man. I want to try and get Spencer.
That'd be great.
Spencer would be a good episode.
Elisa.
Yeah, Elisa. I want to do one about the food scene. I think every healthy little culture has a good food scene around it.
Kelsey.
So
talking about renewables.
I want to.
She's passionate.
She doesn't know if she wants to sit down, man. Everybody's everybody's afraid of podcasts.
What's the deal?
I don't understand it.
We're just
harmless. It's just
we're just
talking.
having fun here. What the fuck?
But like I said, it's essentially the idea is like, who are you and what do you do? And that's what we want to sit down and ask everybody. You know, whether it's here in Olympia where we currently are, that's like where Old Heart's base, or you know, if we're ever on the road, like I would love to like sit down with some fucking random local in a different town.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But local yokels, dude.
Local
like,
yokel.
Those fools, man. There's fools everywhere, and everybody's interesting. Either way, like I said, we'll just knock this out. This has been the first episode of Yokel Locals? Local Yokels.
Oh.
I said it wrong. Either way, go out there and, you know, use your brain for good.
Amen.